Russia's economic warfare, NATO's vulnerabilities and responses. Economic warfare is the use of economic tools by a state to achieve its political objectives against another state. It is a form of warfare that does not involve kinetic action but can have a profound impact on the targeted state's economy and society. One country that has been accused of using economic warfare is Russia, which has been using its economic tools to weaken NATO countries and undermine the alliance. Russia's actions can be seen as part of its broader strategy of hybrid warfare, which involves the use of a range of tactics, both conventional and unconventional, to achieve its goals. This strategy is based on the conviction that the use of military force alone is no longer sufficient to achieve its objectives, which include the restoration of Russia's great power status and the enhancement of its global influence. One of the methods Russia has used in its economic warfare against NATO countries is the manipulation of energy supplies. Russia is a major supplier of natural gas to Europe, and it has used this position to exert political pressure on its customers. In 2014, during the Ukraine crisis, Russia cut off gas supplies to Ukraine, which also affected European consumers who depended on gas that had to be transported through Ukraine. This action demonstrated Russia's willingness to use its energy resources as a tool of political pressure. Furthermore, in recent years Russia has increased its investment in energy infrastructure in Europe, including pipelines and storage facilities. This gives Russia greater control over the flow of gas and enables it to increase its leverage over European countries. In addition, Russia has also used its state-owned energy companies as instruments of economic warfare. Gazprom, for example, has been accused of using its dominant position in the European gas market to manipulate prices and impose its political will. Another area where Russia has used its economic tools is in the financial sector. Russia has used its state-owned banks to provide loans to European politicians and political parties that are sympathetic to its interests. This has allowed Russia to influence the political decision-making process in some European countries and undermine the unity of the NATO alliance. Furthermore, Russia has used its intelligence services to carry out cyber attacks and steal sensitive information from NATO countries. The recent cyber attack on the German parliament, for example, was widely attributed to Russian hackers. These attacks are part of Russia's broader effort to gain an advantage over its adversaries and obtain information that can be used in its economic warfare. NATO countries are vulnerable to economic warfare because they are heavily dependent on trade, energy, and finance. Disruptions in these areas can have a severe impact on their economies and lead to political instability. Therefore, NATO countries need to develop strategies to mitigate these vulnerabilities and respond to Russia's economic warfare. One response by NATO countries has been to diversify their energy supplies and reduce their dependence on Russian gas. This has led to the development of alternative sources of energy, such as liquefied natural gas, LNG, and renewable energy. In addition, NATO countries have also increased their investment in energy infrastructure, such as pipelines and storage facilities, to reduce their vulnerability to Russian pressure. Another response has been to increase their cooperation in the financial sector and strengthen their regulatory frameworks. This includes closer coordination between financial regulators and law enforcement agencies, as well as increased transparency and accountability in the banking sector. By doing so, NATO countries can prevent Russia from using its banks to influence political decision-making and undermine the unity of the alliance. Finally, NATO countries need to improve their cyber defenses against Russian attacks and develop better intelligence capabilities to detect and respond to economic espionage. This involves investing in cybersecurity technologies, as well as building partnerships with other countries and international organizations to share information and coordinate responses. In conclusion, Russia's use of economic warfare against NATO countries is a major challenge that requires a coordinated and strategic response. NATO countries need to recognize their vulnerabilities and take proactive measures to mitigate them. This includes diversifying energy supplies, strengthening their financial regulations, and improving their cyber defenses. By doing so, NATO countries can reduce their dependence on Russia and maintain the unity and strength of the alliance.